most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode, a very special episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and you might notice, not with me as always, I don't have the Jive Turkey Nano. Instead, I traded him in for a professional freaking boxer so we can get talking about his upcoming bout in the Creator Fight League 3. So with me, as I said, I have very special guest, Xteven Martinez. How are you doing, brother? Introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, I'm Xteven, Xteven on all platforms. I'm doing great. Jumping into this boxing thing, pretty new at the professional creator circuit, but I'm excited to show the world what I got on a different type of platform.
Love it. Love to see it, man. So first things first, I mean, we'll keep the training wheels on for the first few questions here.
Okay. Thanks.
How are you, how are you feeling about being a professional boxer? Like what sparked your interest originally in this?
That's actually what sparked my interest in this. It always frustrates me to answer this question because I hate to give the credit to the person who actually is responsible for it. So Jake Paul. I'm not a Jake Paul fan. Yeah, appropriate. But no, I was super into his fight with Ben Askren, if you watched that one. And I was watching the build up. Yeah, and I was watching the interviews. And I was like, man, this Ben Askren guy is great. Wow, he's like dialed in. This guy for sure is going to like, beat the tar off Jake Paul. Do we cuss in this or?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, I really thought he was going to beat the fuck out of Jake Paul. And I was 110% convinced watching every piece of like content and media out there with Ben Askren. And I was just like, this is an awesome guy. I really like this guy. He's a, world champion in different sort of realms of the fight industry. And then the fight actually happened and it was all of like 40 seconds. And then yeah, that's what it sounded like. And then he just got laid out, knocked out. Ben Askren was down and I was like, can it really be that hard? Like, is it really that like I don't get it. This guy was a fighter, like big time in all these other combats, all these other martial arts. But with boxing, he just in 40 seconds gets laid out. Like that doesn't make sense to me. So I went and tried boxing. And I properly got my ass kicked. I got my ass handed to me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so yeah, it is that hard. It's really it's something else." And it kind of ignited that spark, that interest, which turned into a passion. I started going more and more, getting my ass kicked more and more until I found a nice, healthy place that was actually more about teaching and less about new punching bag.
I love that, man. That's and I feel like anybody that has trained in combat sports, whether it's boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you name it, that's typically the way it goes, right? You step into a gym, you're like, how hard could it be? And then you're somebody's punching bag for anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. And then you either never show up again and you regret that decision, or you realize that's probably one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life, and you keep going and you keep growing and you keep getting better. Of course, keep on going, keep on growing. One of my favorite things to say here on the show. And it looks like you are a living testament of that quote. So love to see it, man. So with that being said, I mean, Creator Fight League 3.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. It's coming up in just a couple of weeks.
Yep. January 24th.
Obviously, right now, we'll get into Creator Fight League 3 in just a sec. I know right now you're dealing with fires in your home area. And obviously that's, putting you without power for a couple days. You've had friends who have unfortunately lost their homes. Just sadness all around.
Yeah.
And, as much as I'd love to chat about that, I've got to ask, how is that impacting your training camp right now for your upcoming fight?
It definitely is. We've put out, because I have like a team right now that I train with, and we've all sort of just been awaiting, like some of my friends in the team have been evacuated, and others are just waiting to see if we're going to be evacuated. We haven't trained in probably like, we trained the day before the fires happened, and then we haven't trained since, because it's too hard to come up with a schedule when you don't know if your house is like going to be next. But the wins, there was big wins that were contributing to it, and those have died down significantly. So we're hoping that they're going to get a hold of this thing, get control of it soon, so that we can resume training. So yeah, it definitely has affected the training between me and some other friends who are also prepping for fights, and we're just kind of waiting it out.
Well, I'm definitely sorry to hear about all the kind of added outside effect or factors that are kind of affecting your training camp. That's never a good thing. But aside from those outside contributing factors, how would you say training camp is going? I know typically when you ask a fighter, how's training camp going? 95% of the time, the answer is always, well, this is the best camp of my life. I'm feeling better than I've ever felt before. So, Xteven, is this the best camp of your life? Are you feeling better than you've ever felt before?
I just want to start off by saying my coach is amazing and is the best coach I could possibly ask for. This is absolutely not the best camp training that I've had. I've felt so like, and that has nothing to do with my coach. It's just, there's a lot of outside factors that have been getting in the way of like scheduling and things like that. Making it really hard just on, I don't want to point any fingers. There's just nobody to blame. I've been doing what I can to make it happen, but this is definitely the least I've trained for a fight by far, and probably like the least, the cardio is a bit of a concern, which is scary to say on camera, but I'm confident in my ability to win. Like I'm a good boxer. I think I'm a very good boxer, but I'm definitely not in the best fight shape that I've ever been, and by a long shot. But I have been training with great people, so like the IQ is up there. As far as the quality of like training partner to get me ready for like the competitor, that's up for sure. It's just all physical stuff that like the cardio hasn't been great, and like the exercising and consistency has not been great. But the quality of, I guess, sparring partner and things like that have been better than ever. I've been lucky to have some really cool dudes in the space to work on the sparring with. Alex Wasabi, if you've heard of that name. I don't know.
I've heard that name. Yeah. I was going to say, I've definitely heard the name Alex Wasabi. And that actually brings me right into my next question, because pretty sure that's an influencer as well, right? Yes. Or influencer boxer as well.
Yeah. Big time.
So I guess the next question would be, how do you balance the threshold between influencer and boxer? And I guess if you had to say one side is more dominant, which side would you say it is?
For me, it's definitely boxer, just because I'm I'm still a pretty small creator. So I have a lot of freedom with like what I put out there. I can put out boxing comedy stuff. I could put out just like video game stuff. And I have a new type of content I'm going to be focusing on this year that is not boxing, but it's going to just be like in parallel with my boxing, that involves some cool things I haven't seen been done, but it'll be a lot of fun. I don't want to give it up yet. But
nice. That's exciting stuff, man.
For sure.
Love that. Love that. And it sounds like obviously someone you were excited to train with is Alex Wasabi.
Big time.
Is that kind of the most excited you've been to train with somebody, or I guess who is the most starstruck you've been to train with?
Well, I guess technically that would be, I guess, Ethan Nestor, because that was the first time that I do you know who that is? Ethan Nestor, Crank Gameplays. He was part of this YouTube channel called Unis Honest with Markiplier.
I know Markiplier. I can't say I recognize the other name though.
They did a channel for 1 year, and at the end of that year, they deleted the entire channel. And yeah, it was like in my opinion, like a sort of like a performance piece. But it's really cool. Different video every day. I saw that. It was kind of during like COVID times. And then that's how I kind of like, I guess, became like a fan of him. He's great. He makes cool stuff. And so I was like following him on Instagram, and when I moved to LA, because I was in the Army, and then when I got out of the Army, I moved down here. He had posted something. I was following him on Instagram still from way back when he was doing that thing. And it was that he was doing boxing, and I had already dabbled in boxing before the Army. It was like, maybe I'll jump back into that. And I saw that the place he was at was just like 20 minutes away. And I was like, well, maybe I'll go check that place out. Like, you know, maybe it's a sign. And then that's where I met my coach, and he's like probably my best friend. and then like the first time I was sparring there, I saw Ethan, and that was kind of like, whoa, that's really weird seeing somebody that you like watched videos of, and now they're like in front of you in person. So that was like, I guess, starstruck in a way. But yeah, it was weird. It's like, nice to meet you. I'm gonna punch you in the face. And
What
we
an
proceeded
experience,
to do
man.
so. Yeah.
Love that. And then kind of tailing off that question, or building off that question, Xteven, if there was anybody in the world, living or not, that you could train with, even if just for a day, who would it be and why?
Man, I don't know. That's a crazy one. Let me think.
There's so many good options.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I truly don't. He said living or dead, and I'm just that I could train with for how long?
I mean, even if just a day, I mean, like for any given period of time.
Man. Yeah, I truly don't know, because my brain is just jumping into fiction. But
I mean, fiction is okay. Like one of my top answers that comes to mind for myself, for example, is Bruce Lee. Like I want to see, was he really as fast as he looked on tape?
yeah, he had some impressive feats that I've always wondered too. Or like, was he like as
Like, was
as
he
OP
a
as he
god?
portrayed
Like,
himself? Yeah, exactly.
like he was the actual first Super Saiyan. Like, who was
Yeah.
this guy?
But I guess Jackie Chan. That would be
Oh,
awesome.
that'd be fun.
I would love that. When I was a kid, I
Jackie
wanted
Chan in
to
his
do
prime?
that. Yeah, exactly. Training you how to fight, which again, I don't think Jackie Chan's a good fighter, if I'm being real. But great.
But he'd be fun
guy
to
that I
train
love.
with. And
Exactly.
you
yeah.
guys would pump out some killer content, bro.
Exactly.
So
Oh,
are you
man.
talking about boxing comedy with Jackie Chan? My gosh.
Yeah, that's a
potential.
movie.
That's a movie. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's I mean, you could have been Owen Wilson in another timeline. So I know you've already fought in a couple of these influencer cards.
Yes.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, one of them was actually put on by KSI.
No, incorrect.
Okay.
That'd be great. No,
I don't know why I thought one of the previous ones you were on KSI was a part of, or maybe I just saw that he was attending the event or something.
no, I've had no interaction with KSI as of yet.
Okay, but Fake Paul,
Oh,
you've
big
had
time.
interactions
Yeah.
with for sure.
Both of them.
So that was going to be my next question. Actually, tailing off the KSI thing is, you've met both Fake Pauls. You said,
yeah.
So. How was that interacting with them? Because I'll be honest, like seeing them on social media, I can't tell like anything about, like, would they be a good time to hang out with? Are they
had such a
are
strong
they fake?
bias. I was ready to completely before I even knew not Logan Paul, I already didn't like him. Like I was like, this is gonna be a dude that I don't want to spend time around. His name's Rodney. And he's actually an incredible dude who is just the most fun person to be around ever. And yeah, like I spent time with him at my second fight in Nashville, Creator Fight League 1, the first event. He fought on that. And he was just super down to earth and awesome, and had like the true like heart of a stuntman, in my opinion. And he was just really cool. And then he came down to LA like a few months later. We spent a couple days just hanging out, and I was like, man, I can't believe I prejudged this guy so hard. And he's probably one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Like he's an awesome guy. Yeah, super respectful. And
not at all what I expected to hear, if I'm being honest with you.
I mean, not at all what I expected him to be. He's a family guy, lives on a farm, and TikTok sort of just, yeah, dude. TikTok just turned him into the not Logan Paul, because he posted stuff and they're like, you look like Logan Paul. And he ended up in this like doppelganger video with Logan Paul, and now that's his career. Yeah, big time. And when we were talking about it, just hanging out, he's like, yeah, this wasn't exactly like what I planned to do, but now I get to go do all these fun things and support my family. So I'm leaning into it as hard as I can.
Love
which
that.
I totally respect. Yeah.
Yeah, love that. I mean,
shout out Rodney, you're awesome.
Like I always tell people, like, keep your eyes open for opportunities, right? Like you don't have to leave the job you're at, but if you see that another door's open and you don't at least peek inside, the only person you're doing a disservice to is yourself, kid. Like,
see what's in the room.
So shout out Rodney for cashing in. Love to see it, man. And love to hear that he's a good dude. So jumping back to Creator Fight League 3. Let's talk about your opponent. Do you see any holes or weaknesses in their game?
Okay. So yeah, big time. I see holes and weaknesses in their entire appearance, and the fact that they're not appearing.
Well, sounds like we have a little bit of breaking news there.
Yeah,
Trap Yayo has pulled out of the fight.
Chump Yayo has pulled out of the fight. Yeah,
man.
big time.
That's good.
But yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, he sort of bitched out. Not my words. That's a quote from somebody else. But when the information got relayed to me, it was just, I was like, you know what? Whatever. I don't think the guy deserved the opportunity, anyways. So.
Doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like he was prepared or ready for it. So, and that speaks
to be a national champion.
Oh gosh, a national champion at what exactly?
Into this crossover boxing. There's this like competitive sort of, well, they're trying to be competitive promotion, and they do like rankings. I don't even want to say who they are because I just don't want to give them like the platform or the credit.
Shine, sure.
Exactly. But yeah, he was their national champion, and I guarantee, like, because he tried to blame it on the what's it called, like the owner of that promotion, saying that he don't fuck with it. And so it's just like, yeah, he probably didn't, because he knew like his promotion's national champion was about to get knocked out by the competitor. Like that's not going to look good, but whatever. I was excited to take his belt, but I guess I'll go get a different belt.
Well, I definitely have zero doubts in my mind that you will get whatever belt they put you in front of first, my friend.
Thank you.
And it's tough, man. Like it's a big part of the fight game, and it's an unfortunate part of the fight game. Having people pull out is nothing new. I mean, look at John Jones, folks. I'm not saying he's ducking Tom Aspinall, but I'm also not saying he's not ducking Tom Aspinall. Okay. And I mean, like, pullouts for valid reasons happen too, right? I'm not saying this is one of those, but like look at the UFC card that's happening literally tomorrow. As of us recording this, they've had 2-3 fights change on short notice within the last couple weeks. It happens. Good on you for being such a stud and standing your ground and being willing to what looks like face a short notice opponent on 2 weeks or less notice.
We're figuring it out.
So looking forward to seeing who steps up, and looking forward to seeing
mystery opponent.
I was about to say, looking forward to seeing who steps up and you sit them back down, hopefully. So since we don't have a ton to talk about as far as your opponent for this fight, let's talk about previous opponents.
Sure.
You obviously have had some pro fights under your belt already here. Off to the races, as we say. What has been the best shot an opponent has landed on you? And how did you feel in the moment recovering?
I'll send you like clips and stuff after this, So you can, I don't know how you edit these things together, but definitely there's a good clip of my last opponent, and like pretty much just the one shot he really landed the whole time, where I don't know, I was just moving on my feet slow. It was a big audience, and so I was kind of like nervous. I also had a broken hand in my last fight, and so I just had a lot of things going against me. And so I kind of left my guard open for a second, and then I just get like a crisp cross just right to the face, and I'm just like, bam, and then I just kind of like in the fight kind of shook my head like, all right, you got me with that one. And so that was definitely like probably the best shot anyone's like ever gotten on me in a fight. There's been only 2 of the pro fights, so that was for sure it. But it
that was the one.
Much. Yeah.
He's all, that's the one I remember. It didn't sit me down, but
no, it didn't do much. But I had to acknowledge it. You know, I got hit, and I was like, all right, you got me. Good job.
You got it. I left an opening. You saw it. Good on you. So with that being said, that's the worst shot you've taken. What was your proudest accomplishment so far in professional boxing? What's whether it's the biggest shot or
this glove right here? That's my very first fight, my second round knockout. Yeah, thanks. And so I was really proud of that, because like that one obviously I had a ton of nerves, because I'm just like, I've never hit somebody as hard as I can, and as far as I know, nobody's hit me as hard as they can. And I jumped into it. I had a game plan. I told everybody the game plan. I was like, I'm gonna spend the first round looking just really sharp, and like I'm gonna slip and dodge all of these punches the best I can. And second round, I'm knocking them out. And that is to the T exactly what happened. And I felt super proud and like hyped. That was just like, and it was in 14-ounce gloves. So I was like, wow, I was able to knock this guy out in 14-ounce gloves. That was really cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I could, obviously.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Congrats on that, obviously. And I mean, that's your first pro fight. Like, hard to top that, right? Like, you couldn't have asked for a better situation in your first fight.
Had good friends there too, because that one was in LA. Had the whole team sign the glove. It was
I was just gonna ask next, who all did you have sign the glove? Nice. That's your fight team and stuff.
My coach, Ethan Nestor, he stepped in as like part of my corner when the other half of my corner didn't show up. And then my buddy Justin Trey, he was as well. And then Josh Ripley, who a co-trainer at a gym I worked at. So he's also one of my good friends.
That's awesome, man. And so that fight was in LA. Where was your second fight?
Nashville. That's going to be in the same place as Creator Fight League 3. It's a place called like the Texas Troubadour Theater. And it was cool. It was my first time in Nashville. I didn't get to explore that much. My coach got sick, so we were very stagnant, but it was still a good time. I had a good time. This time I made sure to book a few extra days so that we can go check out like Nashville for, you know, all it's known for. I'm excited.
Love it. So you're going to stay there a couple of extra days after the fight. Hopefully get to
I'm going early, actually.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Love it. The only thing you'll miss out on is getting to eat all the good Nashville food, because you'll be.
We'll see, depending on who the opponent is.
Fair. I mean, that's an optimistic way to look at it, I guess. Oh man. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, that's why I was asking. I thought they were in the same place. So you won't feel out of place. You've already been there before, so no new stadium jitters or new place jitters. That's a good feeling.
It's gonna be familiar.
There's a lot of strength and familiarity. That I was going to say, is the first time going there, did the nerves affect you at all? Do you feel like
Big time.
Okay.
I don't know if you got a chance to watch the fight. If not, I'll send you the links after this. You did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my legs were not moving. Did you ever see my first fight? I don't know.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked up. I looked up tape. Okay. I saw the knockout. I saw in the second fight, like, you still looked really good, but you were definitely flat-footed compared to that first fight.
Yeah, my knees, I just couldn't move my legs.
I was going to say, the footwork just wasn't there like it was before. I was going to ask if you had an injury coming into that second fight or something.
Yeah, my hand was broken. And then
I meant the bottom half injury. But
yeah. No, that was just absolute nervousness. And like, I was just thankful that at least the waist up was working as far as dodging goes. Cause I was like, man, I'm not doing too well with the slips because I literally, my knees feel like they're going to buckle just from all the people watching. And there's definitely a different vibe than my first fight, because the first fight was in a ring that I had already sparred in hundreds of times. So it was like,
oh, that makes such a difference. You don't even feel like you're anywhere different.
Exactly.
It's like the difference like that these people have, like whenever someone makes their UFC debut at the Apex versus in a sold out arena. Like there's your coaches there, your friends there versus the world there. So yeah, I mean, that's a big part that a lot of people that have never done this before don't understand, right? Like whenever you're standing in the center of that arena or the center of that square circle, as they call it, it's a lot easier when you're somewhere that's at least familiar to you, whether it's the same state that you're from, the same city you're from, or in your case, a place where you've sparred before. Like that's almost like a cheat code.
Yeah, it was nice.
So, I mean, it is kind of going to be like a cheat code for you going into this fight, no matter who your opponent is, because again, you've been there before. You've got a lay of the land, and that there's something really, really powerful to that. So with that being said, if you go out there in 2 weeks, and I'm assuming the game plan is not only to win, but to win in just phenomenal fashion.
Oh yeah, I got two working hands this time.
Let's go. And someone's going to get it. So my question is, if you go out there and everything goes according to plan, no matter who you go against on that given night, cut your promo. Who are you calling out? Do you have a name on the tip of your tongue, or is there someone that you'd love to face next? Size doesn't matter. Like how many followers they have doesn't matter. Right now, if you could cut a promo and get handed a fight against anybody, who would it be and why? Let's hear it.
Man. I mean, I've already had this call out time and time again, and they keep ducking, even though they publicly said on camera that they accepted the fight. This guy named Fox the G, it'd be nice to make that one actually happen, since like it was already supposed to have been happening. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's not like, I'm going to say it anyways. I got a call from Misfits Boxing to potentially fight Fox the G, and he went and ducked again. He was supposed to, well, damn, this is crazy info right now, but he was supposed to fight on this upcoming card, Darren Till versus Anthony Taylor. Because there was a ton of pullouts on that one, and Fox had an opponent that pulled out as well. And so I was being considered. And then Fox, I guess, ultimately decided he just wasn't going to fight on the card because he didn't want to fight me. So yeah, I guess Fox the G would be a great one to put on there. But there's a lot of other names in Misfits like that I'm trying to, I guess, call out with this next fight. B Dave would be great. What is it? Ben the Bane Davis. Salt Poppy, I'd be down to fight. That seems like it'd be a really good fight.
I like you, Steven. I don't like that fight for you.
Salt Poppy?
I like Salt Poppy. He's tough. He's tough. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think you guys would match up well. I think it'd be a good matchup. I don't want to see two people that I like go against each other, because then who am I going to go for? Like,
that makes sense.
But
I don't know him. But
B Dave, I think, is a really fun matchup.
Me too, but I think he retired, which sucked, because that was like who I really wanted to fight. And then he posted something saying that he was like retiring from the boxing thing. But I think I've seen things lately that he might be coming back in, which would be good.
Because last I heard, I think Ben the Bane Davis was wanting to fight B Dave.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that. Actually, I talked with Ben in the DMs.
I talk with Ben often. Yeah, he's dope. He's a good guy.
And we
I also wouldn't mind seeing you and Ben go at it. I think that'd be a fun matchup.
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool one. But yeah, no, I told him when he made that post, I was like, no, I got dibs.
You versus Ben in 4-ounce gloves in karate combat.
Dirty boxing? Oh, in karate combat.
Karate combat.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Oh, like it's basically like
can you punch in the face?
Yeah, you can punch in the face. It's MMA, but once you knock someone down, you only have 4 seconds or 5 seconds on top of them before they stand you up. So you could throw kicks, you could throw punches.
Okay.
And it's in 4-ounce gloves. It's pretty sick, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Karate Combat, shout out Karate Combat. You can watch all of their events for free on YouTube. He did fight. It's his only win in combat sports.
Against the Most Wanted or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. I forget the name of the guy he fought, but he got him.
Nice.
So I feel like Ben. So I feel like he would be down to take the fight against you in karate combat.
He's gonna be at CFL 3, so I'm definitely
I
gonna,
did see that. He's actually commentating, right?
Yeah. Yep, I'm gonna propose it. I'm gonna
If he
ask,
does the in-ring interviews, you've gotta call him out right then and there.
I'll probably ask him privately first if he thinks that's okay, like appropriate. I just don't want to.
That's a nice guy move for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to just throw that down his throat in front of everybody, just like on the spot. I mean, to be honest, that's what I did with Fox the G2, and he accepted it privately. So I'm like, okay, it's an okay thing to call him out. Do it. Comes out, accepts the fight, shakes my hand, and then here we are. Like, that was in April of last year, and he's still ducking me, which is insane.
Just disappeared.
Exactly. Poof.
Vanished from the scene.
Yep.
Hate to see it, man. Hate to see it. Okay, so outside of boxing, is there any sports that you've played before boxing, or is there any other sports that interest you since starting boxing?
Growing up, I was just not good at like traditional sports, anything that involved like a ball or anything like that. Didn't watch a lot of sports either. And honestly, growing up, I really didn't like fight sports. I thought that they were like I was very against them, I guess I would say. I don't know. I think it stemmed from insecurity, because I thought I was like big and bad and thought like, I could beat any of those guys up type thing. And then once you actually learn about fighting, you're like, wow, I definitely would have gotten my ass kicked. Because it definitely is a sweet science. But no, not really. I've done parkour, if that counts. I was a stuntman. So.
Oh, that's very awesome. So you were a stuntman. You've done parkour. What's your favorite project that you've worked on as a stuntman?
I did this one project in Bosnia, in Sarajevo, for Verizon Wireless. It was like this new show that was going to come out. I don't think it ever did come out, but what was it called? Closed Circuit or something like that, where they take a bunch of extreme sports. They flew us out to this like war tattered Olympic like hotel facility thing, where we just did a bunch of cool stuff. Like I did obviously parkour. They had people with the like extreme pogo sticks, and then people, BMX guys and scooter guys. They built like custom ramps and stuff to like hop gaps of dilapidated buildings, and it was cool. It was really fun experience, and that was a ton of fun. Like that was awesome.
Dude, that's awesome. That sounds like a really great time. And Bosnia, I mean, like,
yeah. When
else are you going to get a trip to Bosnia?
No, it's straight up.
That's fantastic. So that actually brings me to my next question. So far, you have had fights in LA and Nashville. You're about to have another fight in Nashville coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you could fight anywhere in the world, where would you want to have a fight?
Immediately, I'm just like Hawaii, just so I could be there. But yeah. Probably one of the bigger stadiums. I mean, it'd be cool to be at like Wembley Stadium, just because then I can go to another country and like experience all that. But obviously, like Madison Square Garden would be sick to like have a fight at, or in Vegas. Just those big ones, the huge stages where it's just like you can have that fight, and then afterwards just be like I actually really did something here. Like I worked towards a goal, and I think I did it. I think I finally achieved what I was working towards, win or lose. So
I love that. And just like you said in the last part of your answer there, like this is, something that you've been working towards, win or lose. So I guess my next question, and one of the bigger questions that I think comes to mind for you, is with the influencer fight league, with, being an influencer boxer, what kind of goals or aspirations do you have as far as end game? Like, where do you hope to take this?
Let me start with, I entered boxing really hoping to get one of those WBC green world title belts. Like I was like, I'm going to have one of those on my wall one day. That's what I'm working towards. And then as I got more into fight sport and learned more about the politics involved, I'm like, I'm about to be 33, and there's no one who's going to give me a chance at this age to get, a fight like that. And then I've also sparred with guys who do have that. And, I've sparred with Terrence Crawford's toughest opponent ever. I'm good friends with him. His name's Igis Kavliauskas, and it's a different level. it really is. The people who have been doing it their entire life and didn't start when they were like 29, 28, like it's night and day difference. So with like the reality check of, one, I'm never going to have the opportunity. Two, the competition is much steeper than like I gave it credit for. I was like, I guess I can still just do it to learn it. And then went to that one gym where Ethan Nestor was training, and he ended up having a big fight. I got really invested in that because I got to know him pretty well, and some of the other people who were going to fight on Creator Clash 2. And that was such a cool, awesome event. And I was like, man, like I saw the stadium and the ring and like the production of that whole thing. And I'm like, you know, I'm probably not going to be in like Madison Square Garden for a WBC world title, but that can also, this seems attainable. This seems possible. Like crossover boxing might be an avenue for me. I was already making content. So I was like, it didn't seem that like out of nowhere to try and do. And so that's where I'm at now. And as far as goals go with that, I'm trying to be on Misfits, and we've gotten the call once. It almost happened. So we're almost achieving that goal. So right now, goal is to get on Misfits and get one of their belts, and then go from there. Well, you know, whatever they put in front of me, I'll face.
I love that. I love that, man. Way to pivot. Like, you know, keep your ideals and your aspirations in the realms of reality. I think two of the biggest mistakes that people make are setting goals that are just completely unobtainable, or setting goals that are too small. And it looks like you have done a really good job of finding that kind of sweet spot in between, setting something that is obtainable, but not easily obtainable, right? It's going to take work. It's going to take years. It's going to take blood, sweat, and tears. But it seems like you're willing to put in the work. I've seen it firsthand. I've been following you for a little bit now. And honestly, like you have skills, man. Like you can take this very far. I truly believe that. I think it's just a matter of, you're welcome. I think it's just a matter of promotion and making sure that, again, keeping your eyes open to doors when they're open, right? And when you see a cracked door, being willing to kick that damn thing in.
See what's inside, yeah.
Yeah, kick that thing in and make sure that it's you that gets the prize that's in that door, man. So for this upcoming bout, how many rounds is it? How long are the rounds? I know these influencer boxing events, they kind of fluctuate.
Much shorter.
Those types of things.
So that's another reason why, when we were talking about the training earlier, and I was like, I really haven't been training that much. That's another reason I haven't been like super concerned about it, is because it's 3 rounds, the 3-minute rounds, and it's 3 rounds. And I'm just like, I can be out of shape and I can push myself 120% through 3 rounds. Like that's not going to be anything crazy or insane. So I'm not worried about the like being super gassed or anything. Really, the biggest thing that I'm, I guess, concerned about is just like the nerves, but I think it's going to be way less this time. I really do.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, you've already been there, so it's hopefully going to feel like another day at the office. You just go in there and let your body do what it's trained to do. And 3 rounds, like you said, like that's 9 minutes of fighting, man. You can do that probably 5 times over at the gym. So I definitely don't think you should be worried about the cardio, even if you haven't gotten a ton of it in, or the cardio hasn't been great necessarily this camp. And it seems like this is a kind of a good opportunity for you to go out there, remind everybody who you are, as far as, the guy who can go out there and get a fancy knockout, a flashy knockout early on.
Big time.
And also show them that footwork, man. Because again, like the first round, like you were moving your head, like you were in and out of the pocket.
Thank you.
And it looked nice, dude. It looked nice.
Did you see the spar footage with Alex Wasabi?
I did. Yeah. The stuff you posted recently, right?
Yeah. We're the footwork. We've been working on it in a different way, and I couldn't post all like the best stuff because you don't want that out there.
No.
But yeah, the footwork is going to be there. I'm going to make sure, even if my legs are completely asleep and just like, I can't feel them, whatever, I'm going through the motions. I'm moving my legs. I'm being a completely different boxer than that second fight. It's crazy because like I won the second fight. I even put the guy on the floor. But like still a lot of the feedback I got from my friends who are actually no fighting were like, that didn't look great. Like you didn't look your best. And then
if I hadn't seen the first fight, I would tell you it was a good performance.
What do you mean?
If I hadn't seen your first fight,
got you.
I would tell you the second fight was a good performance.
Got it. But then,
if it's like
comparing,
like
them,
if you go
like,
to a restaurant and you have like the best like spaghetti you've ever had in your entire life, and then you go back a month later and the spaghetti just tastes like, you know, something your aunt made, and it's just okay. You're like, I mean,
what happened?
I don't mind my aunt Sarah's spaghetti, like it's pretty good, but I just paid for this spaghetti and it was really good last time.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we saw what's in the sauce, bro. Like we saw how good the sauce can be. Again, if I didn't see the first fight, the second fight, I would be like, Xteven, great job, man. You looked real good out there. Seeing the first fight and seeing the second fight, I mean, like as somebody who respects you, I'd be like, I know you could do better.
Yeah, I got
because I've seen it.
Yeah. So we're bringing that this time. Like there's a chance my next opponent is someone really big in the space, and we're just going to go in there and have fun.
Love it.
If it's not that, whoever I go in that ring with is getting absolutely obliterated, like just mauled. Like I'm going to show what I can do with both hands when they are functioning at 100%. Like we're getting a knockout for sure. I have no doubt in my mind. But like I said, there's a chance that I might have a good buddy of mine who I wouldn't want to like knock out, but we'll go in there and we'll have like a really fun sportsmanship, just like good time.
You heard it here first, folks. It's either going to be a bloody knockout or a sparring match. No in between.
Yeah.
So you have a unique style as far as boxing goes.
Thanks.
And it's more of a flashy kind of like showman style. Like if I had to say, yeah, I mean, if I had to say what it is, I would say, I feel like your dad or your grandpa probably gave you some tape with like Prince Nassim on there or something growing up. And I mean, you might not even know who the hell that is, but I've got to ask, who really shaped or influenced your style? Like, who do you go out there and think, this is who I want to look like? This is who I'm trying to look like.
This is going to sound insane because I don't look anything like them, but Canelo Alvarez.
That's not bad.
That's who I like. I watch the videos and I'm like, let's see this guy, like how he manages to evade all these, you know, he has great head movement, some of the best in the sport. And I was like, I want to be that guy. The only difference is I have a different stance with my hand, but as far as like my body movement, I try and really emulate that. I'm emulating somebody entirely different this fight though. I've been training an entirely different style. There'll definitely be flashes of my sort of like hand down over here stance while I do this thing. Like that's going to be in there because that's just where I'm comfortable. That's where I counter strike best. But as far as like the aggression and landing shots, those me and my coach have put together something that I'm very excited to show off.
That's awesome, man. You got me excited to see it. And yeah, I love the one hand up and guard, other hand poking out. That's why I brought up Prince Nassim. I feel like you have that kind of like fencer stance like he would have. And you throw, like, at least for the first fight, I noticed like you did like the thrust in with the jab. And I like that. I think it opens up a lot of entries. And you get your opponent biting on a lot of feints, and then you set up things like the knockout. And it's really nice to see. So yeah, I love seeing the head movement, love seeing the footwork, and I'm really excited to see what you and your coaches have been cooking up as far as
thank you,
adding tools to the arsenal,
cool.
Man.
Yeah, this is gonna be a cool.
It's awesome. So if you could do anything in this fight, like if picture perfect moment, like what do you hope to accomplish in this fight? It doesn't have to be like I want to land a left hook knockout. Like anything that if you can walk away from this fight and say I did that, what would make you feel like this is a success outside of a win?
I want to punch somebody in the head so hard that their feet like flip out from under them. Like I displace their center.
You want to do
the
Looney Tunes effect.
Yeah, that's like what I have in my head when I'm just like for this fight particular, I'm like, I'm going to try like guard up or not. I'm going to throw so much power into the first like shot I set up for myself that I want the bottom half of their body to switch with the top half of their body.
I love that. I've only had that happen to me one time, and it was in sparring. And the strike didn't even hurt. I was coming in with one of those like fencer's jabs, and homie did a back step and caught me with a head kick. And my back, or like my top half of my body, went this way, and my legs kept going forward from the shuffle momentum. And I just fell flat on my back. And he's like, "Oh crap, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, dude. That was just really well timed."
Yeah.
It made me feel very silly.
I'm very happy and proud that I've put every single person that I've fought on the ground.
Love that. So, that's a hell of an accomplishment, man. If you can keep that going. Yeah. I was gonna say, if you can keep that going, that's it. That's the win right there. I think that's something in itself to be proud of. So I mean, that's pretty much all of the main questions I had regarding boxing. Outside of boxing, what are your biggest hobbies? Like when you're not talking about fighting or punching someone in the head at all, or knocking their feet out from underneath them. Yeah. What do you enjoy doing for fun?
I watch. It is like I like to chill. Like I watch a lot of like.
I'm a pretty chill guy when I'm not punching people in the head.
Yeah. I watch a lot of TV shows and movies. I play Magic the Gathering. It's a card game, if you know what that is. It looks like you know what that is.
I know what Magic the Gathering is.
Yeah, I play a lot of that. I definitely am like at heart a nerd for sure. So Magic the Gathering, anime, TV shows. And then like I like to go on like hikes. I just don't very often have like hiking partners to go out and do that. So I don't do it that often. I got a motorcycle. I like riding that around.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So
thanks.
Motorcycles, nerdy stuff, and anime and Magic the Gathering. I love that.
Yeah.
So out of all the animes that you've seen, what is your favorite anime of all time, and what anime are you currently watching?
Man, favorite anime of all time, automatic Dragon Ball Z. I grew up with that. It's so good. It's just so much nostalgia there, and it's still going strong. It's not the best written, but like it has some of the best moments for sure. And then animes that I'm currently watching, I just started this one. God, what was it called? I can just check right now because I have a Crunchyroll subscription.
Shout out Crunchyroll. Steven is not sponsored, but he hopes to be someday.
Absolutely. I'm rewatching Black Clover, and that's awesome. I love that one. But
I've heard nothing but good stuff about that. I've never watched it.
It's cool. It's cool. Worth a watch. And then I'm watching something called To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts for the first time, and it's pretty interesting. It's cool. I like it. You know what? I will say this though. Best like new modern anime that I've stumbled across is one called, man, I don't want to mess up the name because it's a very weird name. I think it's called, oh God, I want to say In Time, but that might not be it. Nope, that is the Justin Timberlake film. Let's see.
Solid movie. Justin Timberlake is an underrated actor, if I'm being completely honest.
It's called Link Click. That's right. Link Click will not disappoint. 100%. It says new. There's no way that they came out with a new season and I didn't notice. Oh my God. So after this, I'm going to be watching Link Click because they have 3 episodes out that I didn't even know about. And that's why it's so underrated is they don't do any marketing.
Man, it's the Bellator of animes. They can put on the best fight card in the world and you won't know about it until it's already done.
If you watch anime and you like plot and like story and thrillers and suspense, Link Click, you're going to love it. You're welcome.
I'm gonna have to check it out. It looks cool. The story, according to Google,
yeah,
I just Googled it right now. It says, through a photo provided by the client, Xing Xiaoxi can travel back in time to the moment it was taken and assumes the identity of its photographer, with him absorbing the photographer's memories and emotions in the process. That sounds wild.
Yeah, it's super cool. They stumble.
It seems like it would be very suspense thriller, kind of like
yes,
Death Note, very Death Note feel.
Yeah, definitely. Just no.
That was one I really enjoyed.
That eats apples. Oh yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, that was a great one. Favorite anime of all time. I love Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball was great. Got to be Cowboy Bebop for me.
I haven't watched that.
Oh my gosh, Steven.
That's your favorite?
That's my favorite anime of all time.
I'll watch it.
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's the only anime series my significant other has watched start to finish, and she literally watched it at my recommendation, and she's like, "Oh, this is really good." I have the vinyl. Like it's dude, it's basically like it's space bounty hunters and just
Django Fett, the anime,
pretty much with great jazz music.
Okay.
Like that anime did more to make me a jazz fan than growing up in Louisiana, which is wild to say out loud.
Oh, okay.
And that's not a knock on Louisiana. It's just a compliment to Cowboy Bebop.
They have cool alligators, I think.
They definitely do. I had 9 pet ones when I was like 7 years old. Yeah. I would hang them off my ears by their mouth, and my friends would think it was super cool. And did you know that if you hold an alligator by its tail and you rub its belly, it'll sing and fall asleep?
No, I didn't know.
I'm that redneck. Yeah. I am Crocodile Dundee, brother. I grew up in the South for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you some stories about growing up in the South. It's one of those situations where my significant other didn't believe half the stuff I said until she visited my family, and then she's like, "You weren't exaggerating enough when you told me stories."
I do have one question about that.
I can't wait to hear it.
Have you eaten roadkill?
Have I eaten roadkill? I can't say that I've eaten roadkill, but I've probably eaten more types of animals than you can imagine.
Okay, possums.
I haven't eaten possum, but I've eaten squirrel. Okay. I've eaten squirrel that I hunted myself.
Wow. That was
when I was 9.
It must have been, you know?
It was a good time, you know? Shot them out of a tree. I've had squirrel, I've had rabbit, I've had deer, I've had boar, I've had elk, I've had snake. Not the best.
Snake's not good?
It's not my favorite, no.
I made a pact with myself so that in California, a lot of rattlesnakes. And I made a pact with myself. I'd see them all the time. And then I made a pact with myself. Next time I see a rattlesnake, I'm eating it. Like, I'm going to kill it and I'm going to eat it. And so I went on Google. I looked up like how to do it and all that, like how to prepare them. Since then, I haven't seen a rattlesnake. I swear they know. Like,
I was gonna say they know. They got the fucking memo, dude. Like, hey, dude, that Xteven guy, he's kind of a loose cannon. Let's not go over there anymore. That guy's kind of a dick.
Yeah, that blows my mind because that was definitely like 13, 14 years ago. And
that's hella funny. That's hella funny.
Yeah.
Would not recommend snake. I would recommend alligator tail. If fried, it is delicious. And frog legs. Frog legs are fantastic.
I've had frog legs. Those are good.
Frog legs are fantastic.
I don't think they taste like chicken. I do not.
No, they taste a little bit different than chicken, but they're really good. They're really good. I will tell you the most flavorful thing that you would not want to try if someone just kind of told you what was in it, but you would eat the hell out of it no matter what, is called boudin. It's like a Louisiana delicacy. You can get it everywhere from like a 5-star restaurant in New Orleans to a gas station in Bossier City, Louisiana. Like, it doesn't matter where you are, you will find boudin. So it is basically made like sausage. They use pig intestines for the lining. I already
don't like it. Okay.
Yep. They use pig intestines for the lining, and they do like Cajun rice on the inside with like liver and stuff. And they have bell peppers and onions. And then you boil that sack of stuff, and it gives it like this kind of pork flavor because it's boiled in the pig's intestines. I know it sounds gross.
It sounds really gross.
But it is fantastic. I told my boy about it, who's from California. And when we went to New Orleans in 2019, he was like, "No, I've told you I'll try everything else you told me about, but I will not eat boudin." And we were at a very classy restaurant, and I saw that they had it on the appetizer menu. And I was like, "Dude, how good is this restaurant?" He's like, "This is the best food I've ever had in my life." He's literally told me since going in 2019,
so he tried
he's dreamed about this. He tried it. And not only that, we got 2 orders of it for the table, and he ate like a whole order himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, "Okay, that boudin shit, like, just don't tell me what's in it, but it's fucking good." It's
fair,
one of those things.
Lots of things that I've eaten that I just don't want to know what's in it. And like,
yeah, you don't want to know how the hot dog or how the sausage is made.
No, yeah, exactly. I love Slim Jim, and I remember when I found out the ingredients, and I'm like, why they gotta put
still
that
gonna
on
eat
there?
them.
Yeah, it's like
when you're stuck on the tarmac after being on a long flight and you just need a snack, you thank God you still have those couple of Slim Jims in your backpack.
Yeah, you snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah. Dude, Slim Jims are, yeah. Again, that's a perfect example of something you don't want to know how it's made, but
no.
You're always happy to have a few on you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh man. Yeah, I feel like we could just shoot the shit all day, but I know you have training to get to and a busy schedule ahead of this fight that you got coming up in 2 weeks. So,
Absolutely.
folks, make sure you drop a follow for Xteven on all social media platforms. It is at XTEVEN.official, folks. Make sure you drop the man a follow. Make sure you cheer this man on for his fight, and make sure you leave comments on all of his posts, folks.
Yeah, thank you.
You know how it
Appreciate
works.
that. Make sure to watch Creator Fight League 3 in Nashville, Tennessee on January 24th. Links will be in all over my socials. We'll send them out. So tune in for the pay-per-view or go in person if you're in Tennessee or anywhere near it. You know,
if you're in Tennessee, I mean, you should definitely go because it will be the most exciting thing taking place in all of Tennessee on January 24th. I would
Absolutely.
stake money on that.
Yeah.
And look, it doesn't matter who he's fighting on that date. And it can be 1-on-1, it can be 2-on-1, it can be 3-on-1. If they go against this young man, they're probably all going to need 911, folks. So again, make sure you tune into his fight. Make sure you watch it live. Make sure you watch the repeat and make sure you spread it all across your socials. If you're new here, if you're old here, you know the drill, folks. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. And the only thing we really, really need you to keep doing is this. Keep on going and keep on growing, folks. We will see you next.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.